And welcome back to Real Geek Media. We are here for funny and weird news stories. It is May 23rd, 2024. I'm Hayden Stoll. He's Christopher Michael Blake. Christopher, what do you got on the slate for news?
Before I start the news, of course, we want to thank our special guest sponsors, starting with author Christopher Michael Blake. Hey, I might know that guy. Pretty good-looking guy. Comes the book Seance, book one of the Witches of Summer's End series. When Nancy moves to her ancestral home in Louisiana, she gets more than she expects. Making new friends at school, avoiding the school bullies, and finding out she is descended from a long line of witches. Using a magic spell book to make her friends and her the popular kid in school, however, comes with a price. When the spell book is stolen and the students of Talbot High threatened, it's up to Nancy to defend her students and her friends from Mike Tyson. That's not right. Wait a minute. Can Nancy really fight Iron Mike and still have time to go to the homecoming dance to save the school while keeping her secret of being a witch safe from everyone? Well, you got to read the book to find out, but beware, Iron Mike's got a hell of a left hook. So again, Seance is available at BarnesandNobles.com, Amazon, and at ChristopherMichaelBlake.com. Hayden, do you know where you can go to advertise your business for a cheap meal? I mean, cheaper than a meal at Five Guys at this point?
I heard the best place to do it is realgeekmedia.com.
Now, what does realgeekmedia.com even offer at this point? If I was to advertise with you, where could I expect my business to be put out to, be promoted on?
Well, you get promotion here on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, on our own website, realgeekmedia.com as well.
Spotify. RSFeed.com. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, through RSFeed.com, we are actually on several different other platforms as well that I didn't even know we were on. So, again, I was looking at a certain thing on X this week where somebody asked, if I went to Five Guys, what could I buy for $6.78?
I think I saw that.
And the number one response was peanuts.
Peanuts.
Now, we can't promise you peanuts. So, unfortunately, we can't help you with that. However, if you want us to come on here and tell a couple jokes, laugh, and have a good time while endorsing your product, or at least reading a sponsorship by your product, which we would do very professionally, by the way, it could be less than that. So, again, for that kind of price, you could be talking a sponsorship with advertisement on multiple episodes, which are permanent. They don't get deleted off YouTube. They don't get deleted off Spotify. This isn't something that we're going to take down in the next year. It will permanently be there. Unlike those peanuts from Five Guys.
You go in there and you see the peanut of the day.
Again, that's www.reelgeek, media, media.com. Hayden, has Hollywood run out of ideas?
It certainly feels like that.
So would you be surprised to know that Warner Brothers, who is in financial, straits, along with Discovery, is now coming up with the new Lord of the Rings series?
I did see this.
It's called The Hunt for Gollum.
Yeah.
Now, in case you didn't realize it, Gollum fell into a volcano. So if you want to chase him down there, have at it. We can have a hobbit throwing contest off of Mordor. Let's see who can go find him.
Oh boy. I have some thoughts on this.
Go ahead.
Have you seen Rings of Power off on Amazon?
No.
Okay. It's absolute dog shit.
Really? I heard it's very woke.
It's so bad. It's terrible. So, while it's awful, god awful, that's Amazon. They spent a ton of money on this. This is like a Jeff Bezos passion project. Big Lord of the Rings fan. Backed the truck up filled with money, put it into it, first season, super hyped, and it's terrible. It's awful. The production looks trash. The armor, sets, everything looks awful. And you have the woke factor. Now, that's Amazon. So, this is going to be Warner Studios, like you had said, right? This is going to be produced by Peter Jackson. Where I give credit here is this is Warner's because they hold the rights to the Lord of the Rings books. Amazon has the rights to it's like appendices. They can only formulate a story out of the appendix. Okay. Lord of the Rings proper will be through Warner Brothers. So I give Warner Brothers credit for trying to stick it to Amazon here. I love that. I think that's awesome because Rings of Power is absolute garbage. So I give Warner Brothers credit. Now, people will show up to see this movie because Peter Jackson's name will be in there. Now, he's not going to direct it. He's not going to write it. But he's going to be involved. So that's going to get people in the door because he built up some equity with the fan base from the original trilogy, right? The Hobbit, not so much, but, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King were great movies. Do we really need a Gollum story in between things? I mean, they could develop, a different time frame that hasn't been put on screen yet that people would be excited to see, right? I don't think anybody really wants to see this story of Gollum, but I would rather watch that than Rings of Power. And if that's my two options for Lord of the Rings, guess which one I'm going to see. So, while it's kind of like you said, what are we doing here? Like, this might be like a mention of a chapter in one of the books of what he does in this time frame, the hunt for Gollum. Okay. There's not a lot of meat on the bone. It's going to be a lot of like, well, we got to fill in the blanks. Will it entertain people? Hopefully. But I would rather see them pick a different age, go back, do one of the big wars or follow along some other, time frame where we can start to see the evil rising or whatever. Like, we don't need this specific story. But again, I'd rather go see this than Rings of Power. And I'll tell you, the one thing that's got me hyped for Lord of the Rings is the animated War of the Rohirrim movie, which is coming out December. That movie, I think, is going to be awesome. But we'll see. We'll see. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent.
No, you covered it. I think you covered all the bases there. I was just, all the different Supermans and all the different Batmans, all the they're playing Harry Potter stuff and universes, and I think Hollywood's just trying to go for the safe bet at this point, and if they can try to make a buck off people based on brand name instead of quality content, they're going to do that.
Well, look, we're talking particularly about Warner right now. Those franchises you named are all Warner franchises, or Harry Potter, Superman, Batman. I look at Warner, right? They're so far in debt, and they're writing off all kinds of stuff. They're not even releasing movies. They're just writing them off, because if they release them, they'll lose money. So they're just taking them as write-offs. They're never released. That Batgirl movie never will see the light of day, right? So what do they need to do, right? They own these franchises. There's no more Harry Potter books coming out. What do? We own the rights. Well, let's do a TV series and expand it out. We could do 12 episodes per each book. We're getting all of this content we could put on HBO and charge people for. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that's what you need to do. J.K. Rowling's involved. Well, why wouldn't you want her involved? She wrote the stories. Now you can do very book accurate stories. It's not going to be like the movies. You can add all the little things that you had to cut out of the movies. You could put them back into this. People will rewatch it just alone for that. With however you feel about J.K. Rowling or not, she is running the show here. And I part of me thinks it would be funny, how like Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson have pretty much like spoken so much out against her that, she could just go in there and just, create 2 new actors and just, hey, look at these guys, like, and it would be funny because, they owe so much to this story in their inception. But that's another topic. Like, James Gunn has the Superman and the Batman and the DC universe, which is coming out in 2025. That's going to be coming out, the Superman Legacy, and then, that whole universe. Now, you're shaking your head, but I'll say this to you. Look what's happening to Marvel. Crappier and crappier films, poor quality. Nobody's going to see it. Everybody's tired of it. DC's going to come around, and it's going to be a fresh take. And you're going to get Superman. However you feel about James Gunn, however you feel about this movie and them not carrying, Henry Cavill over, people will be interested because it's Superman. People are tired of Marvel Drek and has just followed 36 movies just to watch a new series or another movie. People are tired of that. Here you go, ground floor, Superman. People will show up for that. That movie will make a lot of money. And you're going to look at Warner Brothers and you're going to say, like you said, you shake your head now, but in 2025, when these movies start rolling out, people will start to get excited for it. James Gunn, however you feel about him, and I have my reservations, he's done these movies before for Marvel. He knows he did them when Marvel was good. He knows what needs to be done for these movies, and I think he's going to, really get the pendulum turning the other way. I think he will. I mean, I'm sick of Marvel movies. I can't do anymore. Deadpool, Wolverine, and then I'm kind of done.
I'm anxious to see the new Captain America. I think it looks pretty good. I liked the TV show for Captain America. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I did.
I hated it.
I really did. Again, we can agree to disagree.
No,
That's twice in one night. That's okay. That's more than
enough. No. My favorite character in that movie was Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And he wasn't in it enough. He wasn't in it enough.
One of the things that makes a great movie is that the villain is so dynamic. And he believes he's right, and he has the reasons why he's right. And it's just not clear cut, I'm the bad guy because I'm the bad guy. He actually believes he's right. He believes he's doing justice. He believes he's doing the right thing. And Wyatt Russell, in that role, does a great job.
Yeah.
So I hate to digress. Get off topic here.
I think I already took us off topic.
No. You did great. You did fine. We don't talk about politics, Hayden. That's one of our rules here on this podcast. For those of you who don't know, we try to stay clear. We have enough politics in our life. However, what's the quickest way you could shorten your political career if you were a candidate or, say, a deputy mayor? What's the way you would derail your career, like, immediately?
I mean, I think there's many, many examples of this. I mean, which is the story that's sticking out right now?
So this is from the New York Post. New Jersey deputy mayor resigns after calling Pine Barren residents inbred imbeciles.
Ooh.
So again, local story to us. We're from New Jersey. She called them country bumpkins.
Which mayor is this?
The deputy mayor of South New Jersey town. Let's see what her name was here. Tabernacle deputy mayor Natalie Stone resigned earlier this month after calling residents of the Pine Barrens incestuous, illiterate, mentally deficient, and inbred imbeciles. So these are her residents that she was talking about, the people who elected her. Now, she's a Republican,
Is she a carpetbagger, or did she not grow up there?
Again.
That's kind of wild.
Now, I guess Tabernacle is known as the gateway to the Pines. So they, obviously did not like this. They found this on Facebook, and they launched so not a very good, not a very good way there.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
She
Thank you for voting for
ultimately-
me, you inbred racist.
Yes. She was elected in January, apologized at a public meeting, and resigned this month. So 4 months, short tenure.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Jersey Devil made her do it, maybe. That's all I can think of. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Hayden, I had to ask, if you were a police officer, would you be in an OnlyFans video?
No. No.
Would you be in an OnlyFans video wearing your uniform?
Oh, boy. Definitely not. Definitely not.
So,
Oh, God.
apparently, there's an OnlyFans content creator, adult content creator by the name of Jordan, Jordin, and the video was titled, "I Can't Believe He Didn't Arrest Me." They don't show the officer's face. They only see him from the waist to his chest. Full Nashville PD uniform. Pulls her over, says, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" She says, "No, but you can touch my breast," and he proceeds to do that. Well, they were able to pull his badge number,
Oops.
off his belt buckle,
Whoops.
and he is no longer working there.
That'll do it.
Yes.
That'll do it. So, I mean, I'm assuming there's body cam footage of this incident too.
No, I believe he was off duty at the time.
Oh, he was off duty.
Yes. But still wearing the Nashville PD uniform, which he's not supposed to be doing.
Ah.
They said that this officer's attempt at lending a helping hand went too far.
Oh.
So
Wordplay. Wordplay alert.
Now, obviously, somebody who's watching these videos who's a subscriber dimed this cop out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Do you think he
100%.
deserved to lose his job?
Well, I don't know.
Really?
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, the being in uniform off duty is an issue. You know, but I don't know the circumstances of this. I can't, litigate this. I don't. We know.
It was a setup. It was a setup, basically, for her adult content video.
Yeah.
Put it on social media.
So
he participated in it wearing the Nashville Police Department uniform, which.
So what recourse? What recourse does he have? Does he sue her?
I think he has recourse on the unemployment line.
Sure. I mean, I'm assuming his job is a union job. They must have sold him out pretty quick.
I'm pretty sure that with any law enforcement agency nationwide, whether it's fed, state, county, local, I would think they have rules and regulations about wearing the uniform.
That's probably what they
duty to promote social content.
Yeah, that's probably the
TikTok, Instagram, and I would think that this one in particular probably exacerbated or exceeded that.
Yeah,
went over the top, just a little bit, just
yep,
a little bit.
I feel like that's like the big issue here with this one. It's that's wild. That's wild. I don't know.
Community outreach went a little too far.
You can say that.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
You can say that. It is searching for a weapon.
So Hayden, one of our favorite personalities on this channel to cover has been Iron Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. They had their upcoming fight. What was it, July 29th coming up on Netflix? July 20th on Netflix.
Yes.
And they recently held a press conference together, Iron Mike and Jake Paul. And during that, I kind of worry about what's going to happen coming up for these two when they get into the ring. I'm a little concerned. Jake Paul specifically said he wanted to kiss Mike's big, juicy lips.
Yes.
This prompted the 57-year-old Iron Mike to respond by saying, "He wants to kiss me? That's so ironic that he said that because I saw pictures of him dancing at 16, doing that little dance on YouTube. And for some reason, I had an erection.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how many 16-year-old boys you watch dance on YouTube, Hayden, but I hope it's not a lot. I hope you don't get erections when you do.
Oh boy. The answer is 0. Now, here's the thing, right? Jake Paul ain't ready for any of this. Any of this. Like, this is Mike Tyson. For him, this is nothing, man. Like, he could say these things and there's no truth to it, but he's trying to, get in his head. And, Logan Paul's of this era of the snowflakes. And, yeah, you box. Yeah, you do that. But you're not in Iron Mike's generation, right? I don't know what to expect of this fight, right? I feel like it's...
I have an idea after reading this. I have an idea that, look, I'm a little scared. I'm a little worried. I'm going to tell you why. We've seen Iron Mike bite people's ears.
Yes.
To say he's all mentally there, I would hesitate to say he might not be. Is there any possibility that if he does knock Jake Paul down, he attempts to rape him in the ring? I mean, it's a possibility after seeing this.
No.
I don't know.
No. There's no truth. There's no seriousness to this. He's going to say that stuff like it. You know how easy it is for him to say these things to Jake
let me
Paul?
ask you a question.
All the videos that he has, and he was on that Nickelodeon cartoon or Disney Channel show.
I have to ask you a question. If I'm Iron Mike, before I hop into the ring, about an hour beforehand, half hour beforehand, do I down 2 or 3 Viagra and show up in an erection just to
mess with him? Just to mess with him.
Mentally, you're thinking, I wasn't serious, but you're not going to be able to sit there and be like, I mean,
listen,
millions of crowds of people in attendance. Iron Mike, everybody. I'll show you why he's called Iron Mike.
Listen, it's a good strategy. It's a good strategy, man. Like there would be nothing that would make me happier than to see Iron Mike just lay out Jake Paul. I would love it. Yes. I just don't know. Anytime Jake Paul has a fight, I'm always like, okay, like what's the little side agreement? Like you're going to get X amount of dollars, make me look good. I would just like to see Iron Mike go out there and just blast him with an uppercut, put him to sleep, call it a day. I just want to see that happen. And, it should be interesting. Eyes will be on it. There's no question. I think this is going to do huge numbers on Netflix. But we'll see. I mean, all these little like press conferences and things like that, this generation, like boxing used to be, you'd have professionals do it, right? Actual boxers, not YouTube influencers. Now all the fights you see are YouTube influencers fighting each other or fighting them has-beens or people that were great, 15, 20 years ago. And it's made like kind of a joke of like the boxing sport. Like I'm sure you were, when you were in high school, you're watching the pay-per-views, you're watching, George Foreman, you're watching Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, and, Vladimir Klitschko. You're watching all these fights, and these are like the heavyweights. This is the, this is the heavyweight division. These are the big boys. Now, I couldn't tell you any of them. I don't know any of them. I could tell you that Jake Paul boxes, though. Or KSI boxes. That's sad, right? Like, I shouldn't know that, right? It's so watered down, but, this stuff draws more than the actual professionals that do it. Let's go watch this YouTube influencers. So, yeah, I would love to see him get his ass kicked. And I would love to see Mike do something like that, show up, ready to go in 2 ways. I would love to see that.
I'm just going to say, I think that MMA has really diluted the sport.
Yeah.
And probably, you talk about growing and leaving the other sport behind. It's just...
Yeah.
promotions, everything. And unfortunately, I think MMA, with all the sparring clubs all over the place where people can go and they can train, and it's all different types of. It's made this, you can turn on TV right now and find an MMA fight on.
Yeah.
It's an undercard. It's not something that's popular. It's not one of the pay-per-views, but yeah, if you want to sit there and watch two guys go bare knuckles, and you can do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
But Iron Mike will never fail to pique curiosity when he says some wild stuff like that. That's for sure.
Look, you can't make that stuff up.
No.
My wildest dreams, I could not write that. I mean, I just.
No.
Yeah, not going there today. Aaron, but thanks for playing today. You take our consolation prize. Hayden, we constantly talk about Mexico and how dangerous it is, that country is to travel in, and there's a lot of crime. Now, would you think that going to one of the more popular town squares, you would ever in your wildest dreams see a mariachi band battle a flame swallower over a street corner?
Oh, I like it. I like this.
Who would win? Who would win?
So it's a mariachi band versus it's a band. Like there's 3 or 4 of them.
I would say more like 5. There's 5 mariachi players.
How many flaming guys are there?
Flame swallower is 1. There's only 1 flame swallower.
Okay, but he's got the flame, so that's like 2 guys, right?
Okay.
The flame counts as a guy because people
Yes.
are like, whoa, get that away from me, right? So,
Yes.
so you got the mariachi guys, and here's what they should do, right? Like you got to spread out a little bit, right? This way you got the guitar guy sneak up around back, ready to Jeff Jarrett the guy over the head, right? Fight over, right? Once you hit the guy with the guitar, but you got to sneak around to get him because, the guitar's flammable, right? And he's got the flame. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know. Like the flame guy is going to be swinging like wild because there's 5 of these other guys.
So the white jacket-clad mariachis first started punching and kicking the flame swallower in a dispute over a prime performance spot outside Taqueria in Morelia. Security camera footage showed. However, much as in Mortal Kombat, you cannot quite beat the flamethrower guy throwing the flames at people. They're no match.
Really?
The musicians were no match for the flame swallower who doused the adversaries with flammable liquid and then tossed terrifying balls of bright orange flames in their direction. And here's the picture.
It's like House of the Dragon. Dracarys. He's just blowtorching these poor musicians. I gotta say, like, they're
mariachis. Go ahead.
They're white clad. Like they're all wearing white.
Yes.
Now, I've seen The Wire. I know how important a good corner is to somebody. Okay? I've seen that show. You're going to fight for a corner. So I'm not surprised something like this went down. But this guy turned into friggin' Game of Thrones dragon. I did not expect that.
Oh, it gets better. The mariachis were seen desperately fleeing, several of them with their signature jackets burning. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The numbers advantage, too. That's wild.
No one was arrested, but it's interesting because I guess the spout took place outside of a taco place called El Infernio.
Oh. I mean, Listen, if you're the taco place, you couldn't have asked for better advertising than that. I would hire this guy to just blow flames in front of the taco place.
So they have a better picture here. The flame guy's over here in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, right here, right?
Yeah.
But it's the guy over here who's running on fire that they really should have circled.
I love that.
And the other guys are just like, yeah, count me out of this.
Dude, they are fleeing. But you know what? He broke their ranks.
This is Mortal Kombat.
I like that's wild. That's a 5-on-1, and he's just broke their ranks with one flame ball, right? Direct hit. You sunk my battleship, and there go running.
Knockout.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Knockout.
All it took, man. Now they need a new drummer and a new banjo player. Oh man, that's crazy.
Hayden, what kind of alcohol do you drink?
Beer.
What kind of beer? Because they have a very popular one that's out now. It's sold out
It's
three
sold
times
out.
now. It's sold out. Very popular.
Really? So,
Yes.
is it a major brand? Or is
Major
it
brands. Oh, major brand. Yes.
really sold out? I don't know.
So, would you believe me if I told you that they have an Osama bin Lager?
Oh boy.
The beer sells that after going viral, forces the brewery to shut down the website. They've become so popular.
Oh god. I would never drink that.
Uh,
Osama bin Lager. And look at the face. Oh boy. Oh boy. So what is this? What is the flavoring of this beer?
I don't know the flavoring, but
It's
Luke
a,
Mitchell, the owner of Mitchell Brewing Company in Lincolnshire, I guess that's in England, it's a UK brewery.
oh boy.
They've come out with a dark beer label featuring a cartoonish caricature of the notorious Al Qaeda leader who was killed by Navy SEALs in 2011.
Oh boy.
The inflammatory ale quickly blew up online, causing it to sell out quickly. That brewery staffers had to unplug their phones to shut down the website due to crazy demand. Yes. Now, you would
That
think
is
that
crazy.
they would stop there, right? Oh, no, 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 no. How about King Jong Ale?
Oh boy. So is this the same brewery?
The same brewery.
They've kind of cornered the market for these.
And here we go.
Kim Jong Ale.
Putin's Porter.
Oh man. I'm telling you,
Now,
they've cornered the market for this kind of thing.
now, there is some good news with this. For every barrel that they do sell, the brewery does donate $13 to charity, benefiting victims of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. So some of that is going back to the victims of 9/11.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh
Now you
man.
might sit there and say, well, how far would you actually go to capitalize on dictators and war criminals and not so nice figures?
It's an interesting.
I mean, you have Pilot Punch. I mean, is that next? I mean, I don't know.
It's an
So-
interesting stance. I don't know.
So apparently in Argentina, they had some of their own risky food and drink names, including some inspired by the Holocaust, including Adolf fries, which were fried potatoes doused in bacon and cheddar, and the Anna Frank burger, which was 3.5 pounds of ground beef with lettuce, tomato, pickles, and mayonnaise.
They could have called it anything, but because that's basically
Now-
the most generic burger you can find.
If I remember my history correctly, a lot of the Germans after World War II fled to Argentina and were actually caught there for war crimes.
Yes.
And yeah, so in fact, I'm a firm believer that Adolf got away and was actually down in Argentina with a lot of those people. So I'm not actually surprised at the disgusting food choices they have there. The names for these foods, which are very denigrating to survivors of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Because
That's
again, they had
That's
a
an
large
interesting.
population
Yes.
down there.
Yes, that's true.
But get your Osama bin Lager, Mitchell Brewing Company. If they want to advertise, we'll be more than happy to drink their product. Send us a carton. Send us a case. We can make it happen. In other news, the other not so safe space to be nowadays is McDonald's. We kind of touched on this on our last episode of the podcast. That McDonald's is having their own $5 value meal, trying to beat back inflation, trying to bring customers back. They're losing a lot of lower class to middle class customers because they're being priced out. So they're having a $5 value meal. However, are you aware it's only for 1 month?
Really?
That's it. They're going to have it from June to July, I believe.
So they lure you back in. The next thing you know, you're spending $10 for a burger again.
Yes. And a lot of the franchisees are complaining. They're saying, we can't afford a 40% price hit, a 30% price hit. we can't do this. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with this. 90% of franchises are offering bundle meals at $4 or less, they say, but I mean, I can't find them on that value meal. That's for sure. So
Interesting. You know what? I saw something this week where it had like 2019 prices of McDonald's items versus today, and there's some things that are like 250% increase, which is crazy to me. This is McDonald's. This is like not, you're not going to, high-end burger place. This is fast food, right? When you can no longer afford McDonald's because now it's priced like Five Guys, that's a problem.
apparently they didn't bother to watch their own movie, The Founder,
Yeah.
where they laid out the fact that you're not making money on the 5-cent burger. You're making money on the real estate.
Yeah,
that was the lesson in the movie, right? That's
Yeah.
how he had to make his money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And honestly, like maybe it warrants, watching for, the head of that corporation. That the price is there. Like when my kids ask for, McDonald's, I'm just like, I was like, I'm not doing that. Like it's the prices are insane now.
Again, I saw an advertisement for McDonald's. It was 2 Big Macs. It was 2 chicken sandwiches, a whole bunch of chicken nuggets on top of some fries, and it looked delicious. I mean, the food looked good. I'm a big McDonald's guy. I like McDonald's myself. However, I know that's not what the food looks like. It's kind of like that scene in Falling Down where you go and they got the big juicy burger with the lettuce and the tomato and the mayonnaise, and what comes out is look like something that's like been run over by my car. Like it's like this.
Yep.
And it's like it's nothing appealing and appetizing. I'm like, why am I even eating this at this point?
Yeah. Not wrong.
So to keep up with the theme of food for today, Texas, one of our favorite states to talk about, there was a pizza delivery driver who ended up shooting somebody who tried to rob him during one of his deliveries.
Okay.
Okay.
They were after the pizza.
No, I think he was trying to rob him. Like
just actually get his money.
Yeah, I mean, again, these guys usually don't carry more than $50 on them.
Yeah.
So, the Texas delivery driver is accused of fatally shooting this guy. The confrontation occurred just before 1 a.m. in an apartment complex in Houston. The driver shot him multiple times, but it's the family members of the victim who were the attempted thief, the robber. Because I guess there was 2 guys trying to rob the driver at gunpoint. Can you guess what the brothers of this victim said?
The brother of the victim?
Yeah.
Oh God, it's probably something really incriminating the pizza guy. I don't know. Like,
if you're the pizza delivery guy, why are you armed?
Oh yeah. You should just roll over and give up the loot.
I mean, I can understand how he feels, how his brother being killed.
But honestly, like, you got to look at the brother and be like, what are you doing, dummy? Right? Like, what is the problem? It's the fuck around, find out scenario, and this poor guy that in self-defense kills this guy trying to rob him, and now he's going to be blamed. What are we doing? 25 years ago, this is looked upon much differently, this scenario, right? This guy would be justified, right? Now, he's not. Okay, why? Why? You're supposed to just roll over and get robbed. You're supposed to just, let those things happen. It's crazy.
So the incident is one of several shootings that took place in Houston over the last weekend. Last month, a Papa John's delivery driver was targeted by 2 robbers in a residential neighborhood in the city. Following the attack, the suspects reportedly took his cash, his car, and his pizza.
So somebody's targeting pizza delivery guys in the Houston area.
Well, you get the pizza, you get the cash in the car.
I feel like there should be some kind of vigilante, patrolling this.
Well, unfortunately, Charles Bronson is not available for
I
this week.
mean, it's got to be like the Houston area's version of the Punisher or the Phantom or Batman. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, anybody? Just going to let these pizza guys roll over? Come on.
Hayden, can you imagine going to the airport and you're running the body scanner, you're one of the employees there, and you happen to find a bag on somebody in somebody's pants? What do you think would be in that bag? Diamonds, money, jewels?
Bag by their pants? Like laying on the ground?
A bag in the pants, yes. No, there's a bag in the guy's pants. You run up through the scanner.
Right.
Hey, sir, you're concealing something in your
Right,
drawers.
okay.
We need to kind of pull it out.
Right. You would think it was something you don't want to, take off your body, like you said. Something valuable.
What about a bag of snakes?
Bag of snakes. Sure. Bag of snakes.
Yes.
Were they big snakes? Little snakes? Little garden snakes?
2 small snakes. They were found in what appeared to be a sunglass bag. The snakes were turned over to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Now, there was another article. This is from AP News, by the way. And they have a picture of the container that the snakes were in. Allegedly, I believe that this gentleman actually worked for like a museum and was taking the snakes for... They said that these snake eggs could be very valuable. Up to like $50,000.
Really?
So, yeah. Yeah.
This big snake smuggling caper.
But
So
that leads me... Go ahead.
So TSA stopped this guy? This is
Yes.
at the checkpoint?
That's correct.
Interesting.
I'm glad they're monitoring the checkpoint, not the airplanes themselves.
I hate snakes.
What would you pay for a pair of socks?
What would I pay?
Yeah, what would you pay?
I mean, I'll go to Walmart and get a cheap pair of socks. I'm not.
How much? Give me a price.
I mean, I'm not paying more than $15 for a couple pairs.
This is from page 6 on the New York Post. Rihanna socks cost over $1,000.
These are socks. She puts them on her feet. It puts her feet in shoes.
Yes.
What are they made out of?
So I'm sure they're made in the finest of Chinese sweatshops. They're called Boqueta Venetas. They're $1,000. They have
that's wild.
a layering of. I'll make sure I get this right. They have padding underneath. Okay. But I mean, that's really kind of all I'm seeing here. I mean, I don't know if they're hand stitched. I don't know if it comes in a pack of 3 or a pack of 5. I'm interested to know. I mean, is it one sock? Is you getting a pair of socks for $1,000, or are you getting more? I don't know.
So she's just got like the padding underneath it. I'm sure it's like the no slip kind of stuff on the bottom. Like she could have just went to Urban Air and got the socks there and bounced around a little bit. And she's got socks that glow in the dark now.
I could not tell you. However, I guess she is with somebody named Aesop Rocky. Is that right? A dollar sign.
I think so. Yeah.
A-D Rocky.
Yeah.
Right. So, can you guess what their sons' names are?
Oh. I haven't got a clue. It's probably nothing generic.
RZA and Riot.
RZA, like the Wu-Tang Clan member?
RZA, like the Wu-Tang Club member. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
It's again, I'll say this: that's quite the homage to RZA, if that's who they was named after. And Riot's certainly an interesting choice.
Right.
You know,
Are they boys or one's
both,
a boy?
I believe they're both boys. Yeah, both sons.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Celebrity baby names.
$1,000 for a pair of
The
socks.
$1,000 socks, I don't know, man. I feel like when you're a celebrity and you're that big and, you know, what is the thing that kind of, you know, is the gateway to you start spending frivolously like that, right? I know you got all the money in the world, right? You're Rihanna. You can afford $1,000 socks, right? That's a drop in the bucket for you. But what got you there? What got you to the point where your cotton normal socks were not enough? That you needed to get those $1,000 socks with the little grip things on the bottom. Like, how did you get there?
I'm going to tell you because I have an idea. And for me, it's twofold. Number one, Rihanna's hot. I mean, look, Umbrella, forget about it. Oh. And she can actually sing. She's very talented.
Right.
So I give her a lot of credit in her music career. I don't think she's a one-hit wonder by any stretch of the imagination.
No, she did the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think she's even bigger than Christina Aguilera.
Oh, much bigger.
Just my opinion.
Much bigger, yeah.
So that's what got her those socks. And if she wants to wear a $1,000 pair of socks, I really don't need to see that because it's like you know, we're sitting here arguing over McDonald's and $5 meals, you know, and she's wearing $1,000 socks. So, you know,
I like to think that if I had money like that, I ain't buying $1,000 socks. I'm just not. Like, there's going to be things that I'll spend on, but it ain't going to be my socks because I put my foot in them and I put my foot in a shoe and it's in a shoe all day. You know, $12 socks is fine, right? I don't need $1,000 socks. That's bananas.
BANAAS. All right. Hayden, what's the weirdest celebrity crush you've ever had?
Weirdest?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. I like to think in my mind that they were all well reasoned out. I don't know if I had like anything really off the wall.
So, this is from the UK Daily Mail. Dear Jane section. This woman complains and she writes in to Jane, my boyfriend reveals his bizarre celebrity crush, and now I'm completely turned off.
Really?
Now, who would you guess this crush would be?
This is the boyfriend's crush.
This is the boyfriend's crush. Turn the girlfriend completely off.
I mean,
I'm not interested anymore.
Sydney Sweeney.
I would think that would be a normal crush.
So this is an abnormal one?
Oh, yeah.
Oprah.
You know, even that might still be in the realm of...
Really? So it's
normal.
weird. It's weirder than Oprah.
It could be. I mean, yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
How about Ariel, the Little Mermaid? Yeah. The cartoon.
The cartoon.
The cartoon.
Interesting.
Yes, she is now creeped out. First off, Ariel is a mermaid, which is completely weird. Second, she's naive, meek. This is what the girlfriend says.
She's a princess.
It gives her up her entire life for this guy. Third, this is just something really weird to me about a grown man being attracted to a children's movie character.
Well,
what do you think Jane says?
Oh man, what does Jane say? Dump
I hate
him.
to tell you this, but I think as you have thought yourself, this indeed, you're putting far more energy in this than you deserve. There's a whole generation of men who describe Jessica Rabbit as their perfect woman. This is safe.
Sure.
It's far more normal than you think.
Sure. So what is
She
it?
goes on, I had never been drawn to a female cartoon character. Just not for me.
Right. But what is what is the girlfriend's like what is the vast like the big problem with it? Like, because honestly, you say it, and it's like okay. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's Roseanne Barr, but it's a cartoon character that's harmless.
So, I have an opinion on this. I have a lot of insight into the female mind. I delve into these things. I have nothing but time on my hands to sit here and think about what women think. It almost called me Mel Gibson from that movie.
What women want. Yeah.
What women want. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I know what they want, and I know it's for sure not me. So, but I can assure you this is the setup. You ready?
Ready.
You close your eyes in the audience and listen to this. Honey, this is my best female. Honey, I love you so much, and I want to please you. Who do you find very attractive? Who's your big celebrity crush? And this poor simp is sitting there knowing that there's no safe answer.
Right. It's a setup.
He can say, look, some big-chested girl, his girlfriend might not have that endowment.
Right.
She's going to feel a certain way about it.
Right.
He can say he likes big butts. And unfortunately, his girlfriend might be thin as a rail. It could be he likes a really thin girl, and she could be big. This poor guy is left with no outs. Right. He has no escape. There's no answer that's going to... Because, again, you put him on the spot. You caught me. I can't... And this girl probably has a wall of DVDs that are Disney all over the place.
Right.
And his eye probably started darting, trying to think, hey, my sweetheart, there's no one better than you, but if I was, it would be Ariel the Little Mermaid. The safest character in the whole wide world, who doesn't hurt anybody, and kind of maybe even looks like her a little bit. Maybe she has red hair. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was a setup.
Yep.
He was set up. And he should have called it was entrapment. And if I was this guy's attorney, I would say you entrap my client at this point.
That's fair. That's fair. I think that's a very good assessment of that scenario.
Is there any safe answer?
No,
I'd like to hear.
Not a one.
I'm not dancing like that. I'm not putting my ass in somebody's face. There's no answer that's gonna. Oh, I like your friend from across the street. No.
Yeah, you can't
say that.
You can't say anything. You can't say anything. And this guy, like you said, he picked the safest thing he could think of.
Did she read him his Miranda rights before she asked him this question? No.
Yeah.
Anything you say could be used against him in a court of law. Poor guy. Now he's in this Dear Jane article.
Poor guy.
I mean, look. Why didn't you just go to Reddit like everybody else?
That's fair.
Am I the asshole for asking this dumb question?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Honey,
total setup.
Hey, sweet. It's like me going with my girlfriend. Honey, I know I'm carrying about 6. Do you think you would want a 10-inch tonight?
Yeah.
No, sweetheart. I think 4 would be more than enough. You're just fine. Right. And you notice her nose is getting a little bigger as she's talking to you about this.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, did you climax last night? You already know the answer. I don't have to ask. We already know. They did not.
Right.
It is not happening.
Right.
Okay? There is no... Look, again, call me Mel Gibson from What Women Want. It is not happening. She set this poor simp up.
Yeah.
Set him up.
Yep.
She's looking for a reason to break up with this guy. No matter what answer he gave her, it was not going to be good enough.
No, there is no answer that you could give. Yeah. None. 0. You're right. You're right. Yes. You're on top of that one. See, you are all over that one.
I'm here. Call me Professor X. I'm right there. The bald head and everything. Just give me the wheelchair.
There you go. Here's a question for you about Professor X.
That's my special power. I can just tell you what women are thinking.
We'll give you a quick Professor X scenario. Right.
Go ahead.
If he can move things with his mind, right? That's his ability, right? He can do things. He can move things with his mind.
Okay.
Why can't he move his legs with his mind?
I think that he is not willing to expend that kind of power to keep doing that.
I don't know. I feel like hop up out of that chair every now and then, man. Like take it for a spin. You know, get up out of there. You could even just go walk around the mansion and freak out the other X-Men by just like running past their door, and then just have the wheelchair sitting there when they run out to the hall, and he's just sitting there in the wheelchair. Like, what's the matter, Logan? He's like, I could have swore I just saw you run past my door. He's like, nah. He could just mess with all of them.
So, I have another story here. It's kind of mutant related, Professor X related.
Yes.
Only this guru was called 50 Cent.
He's an X-Men. He's an X-Men.
Oh, without a doubt. Look,
yeah.
He has the ability to hide all his money from the feds and not get caught.
Yeah.
So, are you aware that he is selling a documentary on another famous rapper who he's currently have a battling with to Netflix?
I did, and I love the title.
What's the title?
Did he do it?
That's it. Did he do it? Yes. And I didn't realize that him and Diddy Combs were having a big argument. You know, there's been a lot about P. Diddy in the news and these allegations of sex, you know. However, Netflix wins the bidding war.
Mm.
But if more victims come out, 50 Cent says he's going to need more episodes.
There you go.
Now, I found this the most interesting thing. Again, I mentioned 50 Cent had his own, he's a mutant, he hides money from the feds. Are you aware that this series is being produced by his G Unit Film and Television Studio company?
No, but I figured he probably had them involved. I think, doesn't he do that for like all those, the Power series? Isn't he producing all of that, his company?
How is the feds not able to get this money from that company? They just hired 50,000 IRS agents. They can't go into the G Unit studios, or
Listen, I don't know.
Do they not know the location? I don't know. Maybe it's in the top secret Antarctic base. I don't know.
He's got all that vitamin water money, too.
You know, I believe me. Every now and then he'll show refrigerators full of cash and then start laughing. He's a hero. He's like Robin Hood.
Listen,
except he takes from the rich and he keeps for himself.
Sure. Listen, I can't hate 50 Cent. You know, I can't.
Again, I just think he has a secret mutant ability. He's hiding out at the what's the name of the place where they hang out in the X-Men?
That's the school for gifted children.
50 Cent needs to teach me how to hide my money. That's all I'm saying.
That's the thing. Like, can you imagine, like, all the other
minds? He can teach me how to hide my money.
Like, you wake up, you know, you're like a 10-year-old kid at mutant gifted school for children. You wake up, you got to go to class. Your first class is money laundering with 50 Cent. So you get in there.
Slap a hoe by P. Diddy?
No, man. Don't know. P. Diddy's in, like, you know, the brother.
Drugs by Bill Cosby. What? What's next?
Diddy's in the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. He's not affiliated with the X-Men. He's with Magneto.
Okay.
So, like, Diddy's one of
Bill Cosby.
Well,
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, Cosby. Yeah, he's definitely on that side of things. You know, 50. Now, you know, he could waver, but he's working in the school. So,
we have another one who's an evil mutant, and he has special powers.
Uh-oh.
David, this is from Breitbart, by the way, so make sure this is an actual news story. I don't make any of these stories up. They're actual headlines. David Copperfield, accused of sexual misconduct by 16 women, denies allegations. Again, another mutant.
See, I would think that he would...
Powers.
What kind of magician is he if he can't make it go away?
Well, this is the thing. He hasn't been arrested. He hasn't been caught.
That's because he hypnotized somebody.
Every time they put the cuffs on, he goes, I'm out.
Nothing to see here. I need you to look into this spinning wheel.
Now, he's had several women who were specifically underage with allegations of groping and touching breasts. And some have said that they've drugged and sexually assaulted a la Bill Cosby and P. Diddy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Sure. And this is
David, go ahead.
This is Copperfield. This is the guy that made
David Copperfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Timothy Dalton clone, David Copperfield.
Yes. Now, David says he's going to go ahead. These are false accusations, and his attorney said we're part of the Me Too movement, but these are false. These aren't true. Now, apparently, Copperfield was named in an unsealed January 2019 court document involving the late disgraced financier and convicted sex mutant Jeffrey Epstein.
So his name was in there.
However, it does not mean he committed a crime.
Right.
According to the affidavit, Copperfield asked women who would later be identified as Epstein's victims if she was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls for the financier. So now, I don't know, does he do his own investigation? I mean, I don't know. It's possible.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. But I mean, it just kind of goes to show you, he's not that good of a magician if he can't make it go away.
However,
can't make it disappear.
His attorneys came out and said it was just a rumor. He was trying to find out about girls being paid to recruit for other girls for Epstein, but he really didn't know anything was going on. And the magician said he had no reason to contact law enforcement or to raise the matter with others.
Interesting.
So yeah. So if you maybe 50 Cent's got his second.
Listen, they know all about David Copperfield at the mansion.
Was it like 6 Feet and Roy?
Well, when Professor X puts on the headset in the room, right? He knows all about it. He knows all about David Copperfield.
But see, I think 50 Cent would put the chain on.
Well, yeah. I mean, look.
And the chain would maybe glow and point him toward the sex offender.
When Professor X is not around, right? Then 50's got access to that. But like you said, his is the chain, and the thing spins.
Up
it spins.
It points out the sex offender in the room.
And
it's like,
it points north, but whoever's north is the sex offender. So he's.
Instead of we're going to find you in the club, we'll find you at Epstein's Island.
They lock in. They take the jet. They go get David Copperfield.
So.
Then they go drink. They go drink a Kim Jong Ale afterwards.
Osama bin Laden.
Man.
So we'll stick with the topic of musicians because it's very popular today. Kid Rock. According to the UK Daily Mail, this is from a Rolling Stone article that was just put out. Kid Rock uses the N-word, waves handgun, and challenges the reporter to a physical fight as he claims Donald Trump cheats at golf in unhinged interview. Writer David Pesnier recalled the encounter in a piece published Sunday following his interview with the country rapper in Nashville last month. During the unhinged chat, they delved into topics ranging from immigration and Donald Trump to Kid Rock's right-wing persona. As the drinks flowed, which I'm sure Pesnier did not stop him from drinking. It might have been Osama bin Laden, by the way.
Sure.
Kid Rock's intoxication grew.
That's what happens.
Pesnier describes a tense moment when the musician produces a black handgun, begins waving it in Pesnier's face in an attempt to make a statement. Now, at what point do you sit there and say, I could win a Nobel Prize for staying here? Or I could live, and I'm going to exit stage left.
Yeah, you got to think survival instinct should kick in, and you'd be like, you know what? I'm out of here. So he just hung around while he's just pulling the handgun out, flopping it around.
Look, is this guy getting any bigger than this? If he got shot by Kid Rock at this point? I hate to say that. So apparently, Kid Rock says, I got a fucking goddamn gun right here if I need it. I got them everywhere.
Sure.
So then Kid Rock goes off the deep end and begins using the N-word multiple times. Now, I happen to know I have authority on this. As a white person, I do not have any authority to say the N-word. I know this.
Mhm.
In fact, there was a famous video clip of Drake, who invited one of his fans up, who happened to be white, to sing one of his songs. And the N-word was in the song that Drake was singing with his fan, who happened to be white, and they booed her off stage. He stopped the music and said, "You cannot say that. Even though it is in my song and is a lyric, you do not have authority to sing this song." Who gave Kid Rock authority to use the N-word?
I mean, we'd have to ask Professor X. I don't know.
I don't think 50 Cent did. I can guarantee you that one.
Well, I don't know. Like 50 and Kid Rock, there might have been something there.
So Kid Rock then goes on to assert that the Republicans were the ones who freed the slaves. He then is wearing a Bud Light hat after the whole allegations thing from last year, where he was shooting up the Bud Light cans from Dylan Mulvaney.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "I now have a new problem with," can you guess the gym club Planet Fitness, because of their stance on transgender individuals using the restrooms.
Mm-hmm.
He calls for a boycott. And then he goes on to talk about Donald Trump, who he says is his bestie.
What did this interviewer expect?
Well,
though, like, because this sounds like nothing out of the ordinary for Kid Rock.
Apparently, the interviewer tried to leave several times, and Kid Rock said, "I want you to fight me. Do you think you could whoop my ass?" And the interviewer goes, "Probably not." Yeah. He then tries to call Donald Trump on the telephone during the interview. Trump doesn't pick up the phone. He then goes on to say, "You think I like Trump because he's a nice guy? I'm not electing the deacon of the church. That motherfucker likes to win. He likes to cheat at his fucking golf game. I want that guy on my team. I want the guy who goes, 'I'm going to fight with you.'"
There you go. Kid Rock.
Yeah.
I just, if you're a reporter and you're interviewing Kid Rock and you think that it's going to just be a normal interview, like, you have to realize at some point this may go south, or it may just veer off into a complete tangent. Like, you need to have some awareness of this, right? Like, who you're interviewing, right? You're not interviewing like the librarian at the, that works the midday shift, who's boring as can be. This is Kid Rock. He's not a normal, like, I mean, you got to be prepared for that.
As the interviewer is leaving the room, Kid Rock stops him and says, "Would you do me a favor? Just write the most horrific article you can about me. Do it. It helps me." He then begs the guy, "Will you at least tell everybody I was halfway cool?" Now, as someone who is not cool will tell you, it's kind of like begging for a date. It's like it never ends well.
Right,
it's
right.
Like,
I don't think...
maybe you mistook me the first 3 times I asked you to go out with me. Maybe you didn't understand that I really want you to come to this restaurant and hang out, because I think you misjudged that whole situation, and this won't get any creepier at this point. Disregard the gun and the fact that I'm using anti-Semitic language at this point. And making you feel all kinds of uncomfortable.
That's definitely kind of wild. Like, like, just let it die. Just let it die. Like, what are you doing? Let it go.
In sadder news, we've lost a celebrity. There was a 17-year-old rapper, Rilo Huncho. I'll make sure I get this correctly. From Suffolk, Virginia. He was 17. And unfortunately, again, this is from the New York Post. The teen rapper accidentally kills himself on social media video after pointing a gun at his head and pulling the trigger. So they have a picture of him on social media.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it had a laser sight on it.
Yeah.
He takes the safety off. He's dancing around with the pistol. And then he pulls the trigger. And 1 second he's on the screen, and then the next he is not. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's sad, it's tragic, but like, I'm not really sure. You know,
You would think that he would at least unloaded the gun before dancing around with it.
right? Like, it should not be handling a weapon like that in that fashion. That's loaded. Like, that's wild to me. But you know, I took gun safety, right? I've taken that. You know, I had to qualify at one point. You know, so
Did they show you how to dance while you were doing the gun safety video?
well, yeah, you got to dance, spin, catch it. You know, so it's not backwards but forward, so you could go right into the, you know,
That's
trigger
a tough
guard.
move to do. That's a tough
It's not
move.
easy. It's not easy because you know what they also do is they have a mariachi band and they have a fire dancer, and you know, next thing you know, flames and music and spinning videos with the. It's not easy. It's hard to qualify. Hard to qualify for that. But I don't know. I mean, it's sad, but like, what are we doing? You know, we could go on a whole long commentary here about guns and, you know, depiction of violence and stuff people see on TV is not reality. But at the end of the day, it's common sense wins over. Like, what are you doing?
People don't have. I don't have common sense. I don't expect anybody else to have.
But if you
common
have a gun in your hand, you're going to treat that thing like you're, you know, with respect. You know, it's a tool at the end of the day, but like if it's a loaded weapon and your finger is anywhere near the trigger, like what did you think was going to happen here?
Well, I'm sure he didn't expect his life to yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, but I mean,
So that's our PSA message for the day. Please don't dance with a loaded. Unload the gun first and clear the chamber.
yes, please.
Speaking of the deceased, Courtney Cox recently came out in an interview and says she believes that Matthew Perry still visits her after his death.
No. Did she
Yes,
really?
She did.
Courtney Cox, what are you doing?
I'm so thankful I got to work with him for the last few years. He visits me a lot, if we believe in that. She told CBS Morning America on Sunday. Now, at what point do you think that she's just trying to ride the gravy train on his death?
Oh man, that's a good question because Courtney Cox is very much irrelevant at this point in her career. So I could see this as a way for her to stay somewhat relevant. Her name's in the news. I mean, it's not like there's people throwing, you know, movie roles at her really anymore, aside from Scream. But I don't know. That's just, it's weird. That's weird.
So my real question is, what the hell happened to her face? I mean,
no.
she's like she could take on the next role of Beast in the next X-Men movie.
It's not good.
I mean, the amount of work that she's. I mean, have you seen the new pictures of Ben Affleck with the? And it's just odd. It's just not. I mean, he looks like he's just like permanently like stuck like this. And it's like.
I'm not going to understand some of this plastic surgery that these people get and you know, delude themselves to think that it actually looks good when it looks terrible.
If you went to J-Lo's person, J-Lo looks fantastic still.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the pictures of her standing next to him. It's just, and again, Ben Affleck's not a terrible looking guy for his age. But I mean, Courtney Cox, it's just too much. It's like I sit there. It's tough to watch her in these movies nowadays.
She's an interesting one, right? Because you go back and if you watched like the original Scream 2, Scream 3, even Scream 4, she looks good.
Yes.
Then you see her again in Scream 5, and you're like, whoa.
The Crypt Keeper.
Whoa. And it doesn't get better. It's just, I don't know. There's insecurities. There's whatever, you got to stay pretty. You're a fading actress in Hollywood, right? But at some point, you have to come to the grips with, aging gracefully and going out with some kind of grace and not clinging to you. Everybody gets old, right? Everybody. You can't beat age. You can't. You're gonna lose. And you have these scenarios where with Courtney Cox where it looks really, really bad.
Do you believe that Matthew Perry could come back and talk to any one of the people from the Friends, or even on this planet, that he would come back and see her?
No.
Is that even reasonable? I mean, like on any.
I just don't.
Hey, spiritual energy on that person.
I don't know. Like it seems so wild. Like just what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry did not have the easiest time,
Yeah, it's ketamine. I mean, that's what they're saying, and they're going after, the pusher, I guess, but they're trying to find out. But I sit here and I look at her picture, and I sit here and say to myself, "That's the Terrifier."
I mean, you want to put her in a horror franchise, put her in that one.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3 is looking for casting.
There's roles to be cast in the Pooniverse.
The Pooniverse. Unfortunately, Hayden, this one's the last story for tonight. Is a little bit of a sensitive topic. And I could certainly shed a couple pounds. But apparently there's a plus-size influencer by the name of Jaylyn Cheney who I guess was in an airport, and she gets up to the jet bridge in a wheelchair, and she's plus size, and she's gasping for air, and the airport worker refused to wheel her up to the plane. Now she can walk. It's just, she requires wheelchair assistance. This is at SeaTac International Airport in Washington. She's 27 years old, this influencer. She requested wheelchair assistance as she always does. When it came time for me to deplane, I saw the employee who would be assisting me with my wheelchair waiting for me at the entry of the jet bridge. And as I approached her and she realized it would be me, and I'm not the smallest of passengers, she walked away with the wheelchair while making comments about my size.
That's kind of harsh.
Now, I understand she's got oxygen level issues and she's almost fainting. But at what point does you sit there and say, maybe I'm going to let you walk for a reason here?
Right.
Like, you need to kind of take some kind of control over your own.
Right.
Again, maybe I'm being mean, maybe I'm being rude. Maybe
no,
I'm
there's validity to that, 100%. There's things like, there's enabling there, right? You got, again, not to be harsh, but you got that way somehow, right? And that's a harsh reality. What do you do about it, right? Do you continue to let, I can't do anything for myself. There's something to be said, like, for people that say, no, I'm trying to work on this. I'm trying to, be healthier. But, it's a rough scenario. It's to see it happen or unfold. And I'm sure there's feelings and sensitivities and, do
you have any doubt that she's going to sue the airline over this and she's going to win?
She's definitely going to sue. And she'll definitely win. She'll win 100% because that's the way the world is now.
But it's discrimination for sure.
Yeah.
She had the airport worker had a job to do.
Right.
She requested the assistance.
We
can feel whatever which way we want about it.
Yeah, your job is your job, and if that's one of your requirements of your job, you have to do it. Your personal feelings aside, right? You took that job. You know what the duties of that job are, and when you just refuse to do them, it's cut and dry. There's nothing else to be said. I mean,
now I have a question for you, and it's rude, but funny. If at the end of the tarmac there was an all-you-can-eat buffet, do you believe that this plus-size traveler?
So this is like a carrot stick scenario. Oh,
Say if there was fried chicken or gravy.
that would get him over the hump. That would get him into the plane. Oh man, just the so
I'm
you
just
know.
saying. I mean,
So you could set up like a Buffalo Wild Wings up there, and then won't have the issue.
if the wheelchair assisted lady had put like a pair of like short ribs on the wheelchair, and then like she was about to sit down and grab them, she kept pulling the wheelchair back a little bit.
Hey, it's the carrot and
that-
stick. Yeah.
That I'm just saying. I firmly believe that if there was.
I've seen Looney Tunes
Okay.
episodes that play out like this.
Now, apparently, Cheney, who also has to purchase an extra seat when flying, is fighting for that change in travel industry procedures. That she feels it's unfair that she has to pay for 2 seats, while other passengers only had to pay for 1. She is also fighting for size-inclusive amenities, which restrict overnight guests in hotels, including making elevators and hallways more spacious. Now,
Oh boy, I don't even know what to say to some of that. Like I get it, but I don't know.
again, I'm not in his shoes or her shoes. I can't. I don't think I could fit in them. But again, I just feel
I don't know. That's
if it was all you can eat seafood night at Red Lobster, I'm sure she would have no problem getting to be first in line.
not anymore, but yeah.
I just feel that way. I'd be like, okay, just
Yeah. It's a convenient platform sometimes, right? When
look. This is somebody who can't wait for the $5 meal to come out at McDonald's at this point.
oh man.
$50. I'm telling you, she'll have 10 meals, a couple milkshakes, and she get on an airplane.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah.
I told you I was insensitive on this one. I just, I'm
Yeah, that
not winning any prizes with this one tonight, am I? I'm going straight to hell.
it's a tough scenario, but like I understand like
I had to tell some jokes though, Hayden. I just can't sit here. And
No. I get it. It's just it's such a odd thing, like, because it's a scenario where it's easy to say I'm the victim here, right? It's easy to say that you're discriminating. It's convenient. I don't know. What do you say to it? Like, it's easy for it to be said that the hallways are too narrow or the elevator's too small, knowing full well that nothing could be done. You think Ritz-Carlton? Wow, we got to renovate the whole place. They're not going to do it. Like, well, so it's a convenient thing to complain about, sure, but
So this is just my opinion. When she gets to the airport that she's finally getting to, maybe they should give her a compact car.
But
I
we
hate to say it like that
Yeah.
because shove her in there and you get like 3 or 4 airport like shove her in there and
yeah.
it'd be like a clown car at that point. And when she gets out, it's like and it's like the puffer fish. It just pops up and
Right, yeah.
again I'm being rude and I'm being.
The suspension.
I'm sure we're going to be hearing about this from somebody. At least if we get removed from some kind of platform for this, I can post about it. And
Oh man, they would only
apology.
remove you if you're in the wheelchair, though.
I can only issue an apology on so many different things for tonight. Iron Mike raping 16-year-olds and Osama bin Laden drinking beer and Kim Jong-un ale. I mean, come on.
I gotta wonder though, like on the beer ones, it's like when they're having their product meetings and they're talking about like, oh, I got a great idea, Osama bin Laden, like, and what do they go for the flavor? Like, oh, what should this taste like?
I had a theory about this. Okay. You can throw whatever dumb shit you want on the wall, and eventually you'll strike gold with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the dumber the idea, the more it seems like, oh, there's no way that's going to work. It will. I look at like Cape May Murders that I wrote. I sold over 1,000 copies of that one book. It's by far the most successful of the 3 that I've written. I wasn't even going to publish that book. I thought there's no way anybody's going to like this thing. It's a murder mystery. It's set in Cape May. Yeah, I did some research on it. I was content to let that thing just kind of die and not do anything ever with it. And I think it's the same thing when you're sitting there looking at, I got this idea. It's stupid. It's offensive. It's kind of a, hey, joke. 22 years later, is it really funny? No, not really. It's kind of offensive. But you know what? I'm going to throw whatever shit up on the wall. We're going to call it art for today. And if I could charge you $5 to come in and look at that art, you're the dummy. I'm getting the money. And it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that the book's garbage. I'm just saying that it for me, it was not, I think I've written much better things than that. But that's by far my most successful. It's the same thing. They might have other different beers and different varieties that we don't hear about because they now specialize in these flamboyant and controversial names that sell. It's kind of like this. Hey, you want regular beer today? Or do you want the, Mussolini tea? Look, Mussolini, what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more controversial. And believe me, I'm sure they took all their back product and renamed all that shit over other dictators.
Yep.
And, look, this shit fucking worked.
Yeah, we sold out of that. Let's get the dictator du jour, Saddam Hussein. Use that.
Oh, perfect example. Yeah, the Gaddafi. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Gaddafi ale. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it's whatever you can do to draw attention and to generate buzz, and it's kind of like greatest show on earth. He said there's no such thing as bad publicity. I forget his name, just escapes me right now. Ringling Brothers.
P.T. Barnum.
Thank you, P.T. Barnum. There's no such thing as bad publicity. Reggie Jackson was kind of the same way. These aren't people booing for me. They're booing the fact that their team can't get me out. And I'm loving that. It's not that they're booing me. It's they're booing they can't get me out. So in effect, they're cheering for me. And it's the same thing. It's like, oh, they might hate me over here. But guess what? Controversy, now all of a sudden, we've shot up. Look at Instagram, the OnlyFans videos. Something bad happens to these girls. Next thing you know, they're putting out, oh, I got banned on this media site. Oh, everybody wants to go check that out now.
Right.
Why have to pay that? I'd see what's going on.
Yep.
It's buzz.
Eric Bischoff says, controversy creates cash. And that is a very true thing.
Until I get canceled for shaming fat people. Of all the things I think I would get in trouble for, that might be it.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You know what I'm going to tell them? Golden buffet on me. I'm sorry.
Just blame Diddy. Did he do it?
Well,
yes, he did.
Oh, look, I got video of him beating women and everything else. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that, who knows? I mean, there's a whole bunch of celebrities out there who I guess on this Bill Cosby kick. And, but they're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And you wonder how many more of them are out there. And you hear all the stories from Corey Haim and
yeah.
these pedophiles are out there. You look at JoJo CY, right?
Oh boy. Yeah.
My daughter loves her. And then I showed her a picture of her new look. And I was expecting a different reaction. My daughter, oh, no, that's okay, and I'm like,
Oh, really? Yeah.
she looks like she's in the band Kiss.
Yep, she does. Yeah.
I mean, and you wonder what kind of messed up.
Yeah, there's something that had to go down somewhere.
I mean, she had a fan base. Miley Cyrus did her transition pretty well. Don't get me wrong, she was wild, and she didn't just, okay, I'm going to just totally do a 180.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's taking her clothes off all over the place, but I mean, she's selling records. She's doing it the right way, in terms of promoting and publicity and trying to get new fans in and trying to make sure that she's drawing attention. Whether I could sit there and say it's a positive way or a negative way, that's not for me to say. That's her brand. That's her label. It's working for her. She's a great promoter.
Mm-hmm.
And she learned that from her father and her family, and this is what sells, and this is how I can get attention for myself. And that's how she wants to express herself. Madonna did the same thing back in the 80s.
Yeah, yep.
And unfortunately, she's still doing it in the 60s and 70s. I don't want to see that now.
Oh, man.
It's like a train wreck. It's like, I don't...
I saw a video of one of her recent concerts, and I was just like, oh, I was like, get this out of my sight. I don't want to see this. Because it was like, it just was way too sexual for like,
Grandma?
This is not working. Like,
with the bad hip and the wrist bracelet and the fake teeth, I'm sure.
Ugh.
Meanwhile, she's got like a 21-year-old boyfriend. I mean, all these girls now are all dating younger men. So the sugar daddy thing, I mean, let me tell you, the sugar mama is now in full effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's now a complete role reversal where the women are now dating these younger guys.
Yeah.
Who all have, these women who have a lot of money and are dating these younger guys.
Yeah.
Cher's another one. She's dating,
Yeah.
70 some odd years old.
Yeah. Wild.
I mean, she has to be in bed by 7 o'clock? I mean.
Yeah. Right after Wheel of Fortune.
I'm just, what's the boyfriend feeding them with applesauce? I mean, what? I don't know. I mean.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Hayden, I don't have anything else for tonight. That was the news. So we covered a very broad range of
very broad
tonight.
range. Yes.
I'm sure if anybody does hear this, they're going to come out and these guys are some nuts, and I'm going to file a complaint with somebody. So, yeah, have at it. Cheers. Osama bin Lager.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Remember, www.realgeek.com to advertise with us, Mr. Miller. Miller Brewing, please. Right here.
Oh, God. Well, if you liked what you saw here, check us out again in 2 weeks where we talk about more fun and interesting news stories, along with our review of Alien and potential special guest from the paranormal world. And we'll see you in about 2 weeks. I'm Hayden Stoll. He's Christopher Michael Blake. Christopher, you have anything parting?
Craft for You. I'm there next week in Toms River on Route 37 on May 25th. And on June 1st, I'm in Sayreville, New Jersey for the second annual Cryptoids and Paranormal event festival. There's going to be a lot of paranormal experts and Bigfoot enthusiasts and UFO experts on hand to discuss all your cryptids and paranormal needs and cover a lot of topics. Going to be special guest lecturers, a lot of authors present for that one. So yeah, it's in Sayreville. Check us out.
Sounds good. Geeks, we'll see you next time.